A love story of Grandpa Joe and Grandma Lily. Grandpa Joe and Grandma Lily were both 70 years old. They had been married for 50 years, but their love felt as fresh as the first day they met. They lived in a small house with a beautiful garden full of roses, daisies, and sunflowers. One sunny morning, Grandpa Joe sat on the porch, sipping his tea. Grandma Lily came out holding a plate of cookies she had just baked. "Joe, do you remember when we first met?" she asked with a smile. "How could I forget?" Grandpa Joe chuckled. "It was at the town fair. You were wearing that yellow dress, and you had a flower in your hair. I thought you were the prettiest girl I'd ever seen, and you were trying to win a stuffed bear at the ring toss game." Grandma Lily added, laughing, "You missed the target every time, but you wouldn't give up." Grandpa Joe nodded, grinning. "I finally won that bear, didn't I? I gave it to you, and you said you'd keep it forever. I still have it," Grandma Lily said. She walked back into the house and came out holding an old, worn-out stuffed bear. Its fur was faded, but it still had a big smile sewn onto its face. "See, he's still here, just like you." They both laughed and sat together, sharing cookies and memories. In the garden, birds chirped, and the wind gently swayed the flowers. But their day wasn't over yet. Grandpa Joe had a surprise for Grandma Lily. Grandpa Joe reached into his pocket and pulled out a small, shiny box. "Lily," he said, holding it out to her, "I found this while cleaning the attic yesterday. Do you remember it?" Grandma Lily's eyes widened as she opened the box. Inside was a delicate gold locket, shaped like a heart. "Joe, this is the locket you gave me on our first wedding anniversary," she exclaimed. "Exactly," Grandpa Joe said with a wink. "You lost it in the attic years ago. I figured it was time it came back to you." Grandma Lily carefully opened the locket. Inside was a tiny picture of them on their wedding day. She smiled as tears filled her eyes. "You've always been good at making me feel special," she said softly. "Well, you're my Lily," Grandpa Joe said, patting her hand. "And you always will be." Just then, the sound of giggles came from the garden. Their two grandchildren, Emma and Sam, were hiding behind a bush, spying on them. "Hey, you two!" Grandpa Joe called out. "What are you doing over there?" Emma and Sam ran up, laughing. "We were watching you," Sam said. "You're so cute together." Grandma Lily chuckled. "Oh, is that so? Well, how about helping us pick some flowers for the kitchen?" The children eagerly agreed, and soon they were running around the garden, picking the brightest blooms they could find. Grandpa Joe and Grandma Lily sat on the porch, watching them with warm smiles. As the sun began to set, Grandpa Joe suddenly stood up. "I almost forgot," he said. "It's time for the next part of the surprise." "What surprise?" Grandma Lily asked, curious. "You'll see," Grandpa Joe said mysteriously as he walked into the house. He returned a few moments later, holding an old photo album. "I found this too. It's full of all our adventures." Grandma Lily gasped, "Oh, Joe, I haven't seen this in years." The family gathered around as Grandpa Joe opened the album. Each page was like a doorway to the past, filled with pictures of Grandpa Joe and Grandma Lily's life, together dancing at parties, traveling to new places, holding baby Emma and Sam when they were little. "And this," Grandpa Joe said, pointing to a picture of a beautiful beach, "was where we had our biggest adventure yet." Grandma Lily's eyes sparkled as she looked at the photo. It was of a young Grandpa Joe and Grandma Lily standing on a sandy beach, waves crashing behind them. She laughed. "Oh, Joe, that was the trip to Crystal Bay. I remember it like it was yesterday." Emma and Sam leaned in closer. "What happened there?" Emma asked eagerly. "Well," Grandpa Joe said with a grin, "it was the first time we ever saw the ocean. We decided to take a little boat out into the water, just the two of us. But what we didn't know was that a big storm was coming." Grandma Lily nodded. "The waves started getting bigger and bigger. I was scared, but Joe said, 'Don't worry, Lily, I'll keep us safe.' He tried rowing back to shore, but the wind was too strong." "What did you do?" Sam asked, his eyes wide. "We held hands," Grandma Lily said softly. "Joe told me to close my eyes and sing a song with him, so we sang our favorite song to keep calm. And just when we thought we might be in real trouble, the wind stopped and the waves settled down. It was a fisherman who found us and towed us back to shore," Grandpa Joe added. "But Lily was so brave. I told her she was my hero that day." Grandma Lily laughed. "I was your hero? You were the one who stayed calm the whole time." Emma and Sam giggled. "That's so cool." "You were like adventurers," Sam said. We had so many adventures, Grandma Lily said, flipping to another page in the album. This one showed them standing next to an old, rusty car. Oh, look! Our first car, Joe. Do you remember what happened with this? How could I forget? Grandpa Joe laughed. That car broke down almost every week, but we still drove it all the way across the country to visit your cousin Martha. Grandma Lily smiled. That's right. And we didn't have much money back then, so we packed sandwiches and slept in the car at night. But it didn't matter, because we were together. Emma tilted her head. Did you ever fight? Grandpa Joe and Grandma Lily looked at each other and chuckled. Oh, of course we did, Grandma Lily said. Sometimes I'd get upset because Joe forgot to take out the trash. And sometimes he'd get grumpy if I spent too much time talking to the neighbors. But we always made up, Grandpa Joe said, because no matter what, we knew we loved each other. Emma and Sam smiled, and Sam asked, "What's the most fun thing you ever did together?" It showed a picture of them dancing under fairy lights at a park. That's easy, he said. Dancing. We loved to dance, didn't we, Lily? Grandma Lily nodded. We'd dance anywhere at weddings, in the kitchen, even in the rain. Can you show us? Emma asked excitedly. Grandpa Joe stood up and offered his hand to Grandma Lily. Shall we? He said. Grandma Lily laughed, taking his hand. Why not? And right there in the garden, under the orange-pink glow of the sunset, Grandpa Joe and Grandma Lily danced. Emma and Sam clapped and cheered, and even the flowers seemed to sway with the music of their laughter. But as they danced, Grandpa Joe whispered, Lily, there's one more adventure I want to tell them about. As Grandpa Joe and Grandma Lily swayed gently under the fading sunlight, the children sat cross-legged, waiting eagerly for the next part of the story. What adventure, Grandpa? Emma asked, her voice full of curiosity. Grandpa Joe stopped dancing and looked at Grandma Lily with a smile. The adventure of building this very home, he said, gesturing to the house and the garden around them. Oh, that's a good one, Grandma Lily said, laughing. You see, kids, when we first got married, we didn't have much. No big house, no fancy furniture, just each other and a dream. Grandpa Joe nodded. We found a little piece of land right here, and we decided to build a home with our own hands. It wasn't easy, though. I worked long hours at the factory, and Lily did sewing jobs to save up for bricks and wood. We spent every weekend working together, Grandma Lily added. Joe built the walls, and I painted them. And do you know who planted all these flowers? She pointed to the colorful garden. You did? Emma guessed. Grandma Lily nodded. That's right. Every flower you see here, I planted when we first moved in. And your grandpa dug the pond out back because he thought I'd like it. Sam's eyes widened. The one with the fish in it? Exactly, Grandpa Joe said proudly. And when it was all done, we had our very first dinner in the house. Just a simple meal, sitting on the floor because we didn't have furniture yet. But it felt like the fanciest feast in the world. And you know what made it so special? Grandma Lily asked. What? Emma and Sam asked in unison. Grandma Lily smiled. It wasn't the house or the food. It was the love we put into building it together. That's what made it home. Grandpa Joe squeezed her hand. This house isn't just made of bricks and wood. It's made of memories, laughter, and all the little adventures we've shared. The children looked around the garden and at the house, seeing it in a new light. Emma whispered, It's like the house has your love inside it. Grandpa Joe and Grandma Lily exchanged a glance, their smiles warm and full of pride. That's exactly right, Grandpa Joe said. The sun dipped below the horizon, and the first stars began to twinkle in the sky. And now, Grandpa Joe said, leaning down toward the children, it's your turn to fill this place with your own adventures. Emma and Sam grinned. We will, Grandpa, they promised. And with that, Grandma Lily stood up and said, How about we finish the day with some ice cream? The kids cheered, and they all headed inside, leaving the garden glowing softly under the moonlight. The story of Grandpa Joe and Grandma Lily wasn't thanks.